Diane Ingram sailed prams in her youth on St. Joseph Sound. She tells her story in her own words.
It's very interesting how we came to Dunedin, actually from Clearwater. My parents were very close friends with Myrtle Betts and Herman Betts, because that's of Kaladesh Island. And when they went to New Mexico, my parents rented the house at Lockley Street. And in fact, they called her Aunt Myrtle and stayed with her for a while one time when my parents left. So I was at school with Bill and Bob Truslow and Cooper Prude and Jay Hall and Larry Cannell and all these people who eventually had prams. And Mr. Wallace Skinner wanted to have prams in Dunedin, as did Clearwater. So he went to Clarkie Mills and got the design, and they went over to the junior high to Chili Moore, the principal, and he let them use the manual training shop to make 8 prams, and they cost $70 a piece. But there wasn't much money for any more at that time. So as they got money, as it was donated, the Chamber of Commerce and different people donated, they did more and more prams. And that's when I got involved. I wasn't on the first group, but that's how I got involved. And we could ride our bikes from Lockley Street, which was the street over from the junior high, all the way down to the marina. And we could go on Saturdays or holidays, and as long as we took care of our prams, we could sail them. And we would sail from the marina, and we would have races on Sunday. And like I said, we could use them other times, and we would go over to a spoil island called Rabbit Island, and we'd get out and just have fun. That's how Dunedin got involved. Some merchants donated a place for them for storage. Well, there was a storage place down there at the marina. And when I speak of taking care of them, you had to take care of your sail, you had to put it back, you had to make sure that it was, clean and, this kind of take care of. So anyway, it was a wonderful time. Like I said, we could ride our bikes down there and just have a lot of fun. Well, in 1948, is when they made the prams, the first prams. So this is in 1950 that there was regattas. So it's in that area of 1948 to 1950 that we were sailing. One of the fun events was the regatta on March 11th and 12th, 1950, that's 65 years ago. There were people from Sarasota, from Clearwater, but Dunedin did have 4 people in it, and there were 75 boats, and they were put in 5 different races, and the top 5 would race the following day, and I was one of them. And so there were 25 of us that sailed on Sunday, and there were 2 girls, Gretchen and I, and I came in 13th, and she came in 20th, but she had a little problem. She turned over her boat, but evidently I didn't see that, but they must have gotten it back because she did come in, and she was like 20. And it got very, very windy, got very, very rough. And as I was coming in, my mast started to break, and it was moving, but I was still going, and I saw my father up on this was down at the bayfront there, and I saw him on the dock there like that, and a typical girl started to cry. But anyway, I made it in, and I was 13th. WCLE at 6:15 with Lloyd Weingartner. And there was Skip Paray, Larry Cannell, me, Carol Longstreet, and Allison Delaney. And they interviewed us. And then after it, the Chamber of Commerce honored Gretchen and I and one other. I think it must have been Bill Delaney. But anyway, we got honored there. It was just like we were celebrities. I don't know how I got to be a celebrity. I don't know how I got to be such a good sailor, but evidently I was. So anyway, and this is the program that they had, and this is the little ribbon that I got, and down here at the bottom is me in my red boat called the Cardinal. Also, I got a trophy, and it says Pram Regatta. Bob Truslow and Bill Truslow and Jay Hall and Cooper Prude and Ruthie Percival, who is no longer with us, and Larry Cannell, and we were all friends. And interesting enough, Larry Cannell and his wife are still friends. I see them frequently. And I talked to Cooper Prude and Bob, who sent this information to me on the letters because of his father being very involved. In fact, there's a letter here that his father wrote for the cornerstone of the Bank of Dunedin when it was built. I asked Bob what happened to the cornerstone. He said, because that's no longer there, he says, I have no idea. So anyway, but we were all very close friends. Dunedin was a very wonderful place to live. There was a wonderful youth center that we went to on Friday nights. So we were just a large group of friends, and we all ended up out there sailing together also.
Learning to sail was a unique challenge. She tells why and how she became interested in sailing.
Well, typical, first of all, my friends did it. and then my parents were very happy because on a Saturday, they knew when we were out there what we were doing. And it was very healthy, and so we were encouraged by our parents to be involved also. It was just fun, something to do. So this was a wonderful thing for young people to have, and that's why Clifford McKay actually started it, because he wanted something for young people to do, and that's when he went to Clarkie Mills to help him out with that. When I was in high school, I had a Willys station wagon. And I used to say, I went through town, and 4 people would call and tell my parents they saw me. It's just a perfect example because now I don't even know my neighbors. And so it was very close-knit. Everybody knew each other in Dunedin, even more so because they were a smaller town than Clearwater, but it was just very, very different. The people who lived here in the winter went home. And it was very, very small. Clearwater was.
Clearwater in the 50s was still a small town. Diane's story of sailing prams in her youth is just part of the unique history of Pinellas County. Watch for more oral histories of pioneers of our coastal community. Thank you for watching.